Well, the United States is our closest neighbor, but it might as well be a world away. The border to Canada is still closed to non-essential travel, and that's because of the high cases of reported COVID in the U.S. Now, what would it be like living in the U.S., but more specifically in one of the hardest hit areas, and that would be Florida, at least when you go by reported COVID numbers. Let's connect with a former Regina resident, Gwyn Tremblay, who makes her home in the Tampa area. Hi, Gwyn.
Hi, Costa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And some of you may remember you as the former executive director of Sophia House in Regina, among other jobs that you held. But before we get to the interview, you were so kind to do a little walk and talk by the beach to show how people are handling the pandemic there in Florida. So let's take a look.
Well, I wanted to do a video to show everyone what life in Florida looks like when you're going through a pandemic. So I don't have a mask on because in Florida, when you can socially distance and keep 6 feet apart, you don't have to wear a mask. So, that's what I'm doing. But we are here in Madeira Beach, which is right next to St. Pete's Beach, which is one of the most famous beaches down in the Florida coast, and next to Clearwater on the eastern side of the state. And so we have some public beaches and we have some private beaches. So I'm just going to turn the camera around so that everyone can see what's going on, and that people are actually being very respectful and doing stuff. So I am going to go like this and show you exactly what's happening. It's really hard for me to see, but so there's people on the beach and there's people in the water, but you'll be able to notice that they are spending quite a bit of time separated from each other. We do have some umbrellas at the end there, but I had walked by earlier and they are all 6 feet apart. It's just the angle of the actual camera that makes it look like they are not. And so people are being really responsible. And even the kids, like you can see a bunch of kids and stuff, but they're all from one family and they're doing pretty good down here. So everything that you can maybe hear about or see in some of the stuff, it's just not reality down here. Like, people are being really, really good about being respectful and doing what they're supposed to do. And so being in the pandemic in Florida, it's not been so bad. It's not been so bad.
So there it is. So Gwyn, what's your message from this video?
Well, a lot of my family and friends that call down to me all the time are always asking, are we going to the beach? Are we being safe? What are those people doing down there? And one of the things that I wanted to show is that it's actually not Floridians that are causing a problem. Lots of people that are in Florida are safely distancing themselves. They want to remain safe, and they want the numbers in Florida to stay low. And so one of the things that Governor DeSantis has done across the state, and he's left it up to actual local communities as well, is to block all parking and to do all those things. So people that are there now are from those communities or have a home that's close by. They've just restarted busing that goes to the different community or the different beaches in those areas. And so when you look at what's happening, they're mostly families.
Well then, okay, if it's not the local people causing the problems with COVID, what's the cause of it then?
A lot of people that are coming to Florida are from New York and New Jersey areas. They're from the tri-state area. And so there was a ban on those areas in Florida for quite some time. And then unfortunately, we had lots of rioting and people out and not socially distancing, unfortunately, especially in the Miami-Dade and Broward areas of Florida.
Well, then how I won't say they use obedient, but how closely do people in Florida follow the rules? Because there is an impression from Canada that people are kind of free-spirited down in the U.S. and very independent-minded and don't follow authorities when it comes to COVID. What's your observation?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Americans really like their freedom a lot more than no, I'm not gonna say a lot more than Canadians do, because Canadians love our freedom too. But they demand it, I guess, a lot more, and they want to think for themselves and not be told what to do. So you almost have to use that reverse psychology down here. But with a lot of the cases that are coming and a lot of people that are getting COVID, a lot of them, it's just through normal daily interaction, like going to work. Or our neighbors, for instance, had COVID and he caught it from going to work, and they just didn't know that it was in the system yet.
So how do you feel about living in Florida, in a state that has a lot of cases? I think the second highest in the United States. So how do you feel?
Yeah. My husband and I are very, very careful. We socially distance a lot. He works from home, and at the moment, I am reestablishing us in the U.S. So I've taken some time off of work, and so we're very cautious. We get all our groceries online. We go to certain places about once a week just to get some social interaction, and then we have a very close knit group of friends that get tested on a regular basis. So we are very, very safe and make sure that everyone that are around us are safe. Sometimes it gets a little much because it's so political down here and tensions are so high that you just have to turn off the news. It's just too much.
I'm wondering, the backdrop of the election, you got a Republican governor there as well. There seems to be a lot of other drama associated with COVID and the breakout of COVID. What do you make of all that as a Canadian living there?
I brought a prop, Costa. I brought a prop.
Oh,
When you
what's
can
that?
make spice, it's Goya adobe spice. If you can make this political down here, you can make anything political down here. It's absolutely crazy how just the smallest things like a pillow or spice, and if the company supports the current White House administration,
As in
or
Goya's
they
CEO
support.
did.
Yes. And so you go somewhere, and if you've got the wrong color mask on, or if you know, anything like that, you wear the wrong hat, it's going to be a situation. So we just we don't actually take out our Canadian flags because of the tension between Canada and the US right now. And with the vitriol hatred actually that's coming through on the airwaves that we get down here. So we are just very quiet. And we have our certain friends, and we kind of keep it that way.
Well, we're so happy that you were able to share your thoughts with us here on the show, on our debut show, by the way. So, Gwyn, thank you
I'm
very
so happy
much.
for you.
Hey, thank you. And by the way, we're not done yet, because you went and visited
Yeah.
your friend that runs a bar pub nearby, just to show how people
Yep.
are conducting themselves in public, in restaurants and bars. So we're going to finish this interview with that. So, Gwyn, without further ado, thank you very much, and stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
We're in just south of Tampa in a place called Apollo Beach. So it's one of the communities out here in southern Florida, or mid-Florida, I guess. And so I wanted to show you what it was to come to a pub and a bar in the city here. And one of the things that people down here in Florida are always worried about is bars and pubs and how that they are spreading the virus. And so we wanted to show everything that is going on, and how people are very socially distanced, and how the waiters are wearing masks. They have sanitations set up all over the place. And so what we have is we have the general manager of this wonderful place, and her name is Terry. So now we flipped around. So Terry, I don't know about you, but I've had a COVID test done, and I'm negative.
I've had 3 of them.
Okay, so let's take off our masks.
Okay.
Because we've been negative. And so we wanted to say that down here in Florida, the management and staff at the Salty Shamrock and other restaurants in the area have been very, very responsible about how they treat their customers and what they do. Can you tell us about what some of your staff do to ensure customer safety and
COVID guidelines, yeah, absolutely. So you can no longer we don't see more than 10 people at one table. And all the tables are socially distanced apart from each other. As much as we love live music, we have live music playing, but we don't allow people to dance or gather there together.
Right.
All the tables are cleaned with a sanitizer solution that is strictly made for COVID in between every use. We've done single-use condiments, so like ketchup and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They come out in a single use. The only
So
thing
there's
that
not a lot of people touching all that stuff.
yeah,
out here.
nobody's touching it. The menus are sanitized between every visit,
Yes.
and all the staff is in masks. Their
Yes.
temperatures are taken when they come to work.
That is
So
fantastic.
We make sure, and they answer questions. If they've been exposed to it, if they've been around anybody, any of those questions, they answer negative and anything like that, then they're sent home.
And so I want Canada to know, and everyone in Saskatchewan to know, that Florida is doing a great job of trying to keep everybody safe, and this GM is doing everything she can to
We are.
keep, Florida safe. And so we just hope you guys will actually, when everything opens up, feel free to come down to Florida and not be afraid of the hot spot that they call the pandemic. Have a great day.